Hey guys, we're back. It's a Noob and a Ninja. I think I just lost Mike, but he'll be back on here in a second. There he is. Today we have something exciting. We've got a few minutes here. We've got 8 minutes according to my clock before the FOMC print. Also, quite interesting. Mike and I decided to do a 50K challenge for the Tradeify Select plan. What's really cool about this is a new plan they have, but after you pass, you can select the option to have daily payouts, which is really cool. And so we're going to start at the same. We're both at 50K. The other requirements of this exciting thing is we are going to, I think I lost Mike, but we are going to only make trades on stream. So you will not see any off stream trades. If our trader, if I'm not on or Mike's not on, there will be no trades taken. So whenever we tell you this is the end of day balance, that will be the end of the day balance. So that'll be pretty exciting. Here's Mike, he's back. So pretty exciting. So what we did is this evaluation has no consistency in the funding stage, but in the eval, they basically don't want you to just full port is why they do it. So they have a 40% consistency. So as fast as we could do it is we would be able to pass on Friday. We would be able to make up to $1,200 on 2 days, and then you'd make the $600 on the third day. So no requirement of that. We have plenty of time to do it. But again, the exciting thing is we're just taking trades during the live stream, so no off-stream trades are required between both of us. And pretty exciting period here for us to start. I know Mike's always been a fan of FOMC. It's a time when the market can really fly around between the print here at in a few minutes, 6 minutes, and the actual press conference with Powell. And we're running down to the last few press conferences with Jerome Powell at the helm. So it should be interesting right now. Just to finalize my thought on this, we are not expected to have any rate change. Okay, so I'm not sure that we will see a ton of volatility initially. So one thing that I can share with you guys is, generally speaking, whether we go up or down on the print from the algos, we generally will retrace back to the level we are at before the print, heading into his speech. It's his speech that the algos will be feeding off of, because what they'll be looking for is there going to be a rate cut in March? Is there not going to be a rate cut in March? And so what we want to do is just understand that if you're going to get in a trade, these are not trend trades. These are scalping, get in, get out. There can be massive moves, 100-point moves in NQ, or 20, 30, 40-point moves in ES in 1 second, in 5 seconds, in a minute. But do not expect it to just all of a sudden the market just trends. The trending day is generally the day after FOMC, after everyone can kind of digest their interpretation of where the Fed is taking us. Then we will either trend higher or lower the next day. But today, there'll be a lot of whipsaw. So if you get in, get out. Don't be trying to hold on to everything all day. So pretty exciting. Mikey, you got any comments before the print here?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'd like to talk strategy. As you mentioned, they aren't expecting any rate cuts. As a student of the economics myself, I would actually, if I was in Powell's shoes, I would do the opposite. I definitely wouldn't cut in March or anytime soon. I would probably be leaning towards the opposite with some of the things we're seeing right now in metals and some of the other indicators. But that's why we trade, and we expect the unexpected, and whatever happens, there's a way to make money either way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. I think what you're alluding to is people are seeing the complete erosion of the dollar. I believe dollar is off 11% this year, which is pretty drastic for the dollar. And so there are people that are coming out, in fact, saying that the Fed might need to raise rates to stabilize the dollar, essentially kind of create more value in the dollar. And that is probably unlikely for this one. we know that the next Fed chair is going to be much more rate cut happy, at least in my opinion. If I'm a betting man, which I am, I have my money on Hassett. He's now a big time dog, but I think Trump's going to put in his boy, and his boy's going to slash interest rates. And whether that's good or bad, I think is obviously left to be debated. But at the end of the day, you know, we don't expect a cut. So if there is a cut, that would be a situation. I'm sorry, if there is a rate hike, that would be a situation of get short, stay short, because the market is not anticipating it, and that would wreak some havoc. So that would be the one instance where if we see a rate increase, get short, stay short, and ride that puppy. I'm just going to go ahead and launch. I recommend people use a tool like financialjuice.com, some sort of squawk where you're able to kind of get some of the information out to yourself so you're not just sitting there watching. We're about a minute away. So again, you know, some people like to go into this maybe because it's an eval. You can be a little bit more risky. I know Mike and I are, you know, we both have our desires.
Interest rate decision.
Yep, 1 minute to go. So, you know, we both have our egos and we both want to succeed with these evals and get them to funded, get a payout, show you guys it's possible. So I don't plan on getting long or short ahead of the print. I'm going to probably let the first 1 minute candle go and not try to grab a hold. Again, you're going to see movement. Today is one of those things where the volatility is coming. And you're going to, right now in this last minute here, we got 20 seconds. Now the book will dry out. So nobody will have orders in this book. And that's why you get the flying around, because there's no orders to be taken. And so let's see here, 10 seconds.
This is exciting. ES has been hovering around this 7,000 mark for quite a bit now. And, you know, could use some momentum either way. Oh, here we go.
No change. No change.
75% as expected. Looking to the statement now, the Fed voting 10 to 2 to hold the benchmark rate in 3.5 to 3.75% range. Governors Waller and Myron dissent in favor of a 25 basis point cut.
Okay.
The unemployment rate has shown some signs of stabilization. So the unemployment rate has shown some signs of stabilization. Job gains have remained low. Inflation remains somewhat elevated. Unemployment rate has
no positions yet, but I'm kind of debating about getting a little long here, guys.
Uncertainty about the economic outlook.
Okay, same.
The Fed have upgraded their assessment
I'm long.
of economic activity.
I'm not trying to be in these long, guys. I want to be in and out.
They're attentive to risks on both sides of the dual mandate.
All right, I'm long.
I'm going to put a stop in, lock in $100. Nice little move here, but because I expect retracement, guys. Okay, I'm out. Nice little $100 trade. Nothing crazy for me.
And their monetary policy.
I'm going to block my squawk. So just so you guys know, it was 10 in favor of no rate cut. 2 Fed chairs wanted a rate cut. So there were 0 Fed chairs that wanted a rate increase. Something to kind of note. Kind of proves that, you know, the chatter that comes out before these can be, you know, a little bit of fluff. So nobody wanted a rate hike. 10 people said no change. 2 said rate cut. I'm sure we're going to have a tweet here from the president who is going to say we should have cut. And now we want to watch as we can see this back and forth, right, guys? If we're looking at, you know, these charts are a little tight, so let me see if I can kind of zoom in. But we had a big move up, big move down, right? This is chop. This is where I'm saying note where the print came in and expect us to move around this area. It isn't until Powell starts talking that the algos really will start to go crazy. Were you able to capture any profit on that trade, Mike?
I was not.
Okay.
I didn't move my stop up like you did, and I did take a bit of a loss there. But
okay,
I'm
you
not
did capture a
doing
loss
anything
though?
right now as we're going down here.
Okay. Careful, because again, guys, these moves get retraced. What you don't want to do on these moves is oversize or stick with the trade. If it doesn't work, you need to get out and you need to be willing to accept that you were wrong. These moves will just rip your face off. So if you're short right now, let's say those candles looked really attractive to the short side, don't try to hold it because we could go right back to the open. Just be cautious. Be very cautious.
Yeah, these are big moves, like you said.
Yeah.
Looks like we are going back towards the open right now, but I'm cautious. I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm just kind of gonna see what the market's doing and then go from there.
Yeah, I've got one short that I'm about to get stopped out in. I'm down, let's see, where am I at? I'm down 200 or so in the trade. I am trading NQ. I believe, Mikey, are you trading ES?
I am, yep.
Okay, so I'm pretty close to getting stopped out. I'm giving my room. I got about a 20-point target with a 20-point stop loss. So I'm risking about 400 to make 400. I'm kind of betting here a little bit of a move to lower the day, right around 100. So I could show this if people want to see it. I'm debating about just going flat here. Oh, accidentally moved my stop. A little bit of a loss. So I am down $37 on the day. I'm okay with that. I got short late. I chased a trade to the downside. What is my little guy here doing?
We are moving up again, back
Yep.
towards the retracement you kind of called for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's very typical of these for the next half hour, 26 minutes, guys. You just see this as the algos really are the ones that are being adjusted. Um, there isn't really, it's everyone keys off of Powell's speech because Powell will hopefully give indications of what the next move is. Right now, everything is very straightforward. The statement has come out, so the algos have scraped the statement and are kind of deciding whether they like or don't like that statement. Um, Nothing about what you're seeing on your screens right now is retail trading or manual trading. This is all the big algos, the big firms, the big money is moving around, interpreting the data and deciding if the firm wants to maintain a position. Obviously, everyone's been long. If you're not long metals right now, you're probably in a world of pain. And same really for tech. Tech's finally made its bounce. We have big tech earnings in a couple hours with Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. Tomorrow we have Apple. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to kind of move around. Those are some big companies. But again, you're noticing what I'm wanted to tell you guys is you don't want to sit in trades for a long time. You're just going to get chewed up unless you enjoy trading ranges and want to trade it. Right now we're holding lower from the open. You really kind of
Get
want to
in,
monitor
get out.
that. Yep, absolutely. And again, the real craziness happens on Powell's speech. That's when the algos really will pick up. So, these next 30 minutes aren't the prime time. It's really his speech. And he does about he gives his 5-10 minute speech, and then he'll have 20-30 minutes of Q&A. And he'll always
So I'm
get
down
all
100 in my account right now,
okay.
and I'm not really looking to trade right now. I don't think. Would you say that's pretty accurate? Wait until Powell updates
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, I think is a good example would be if the unexpected happened, do the unexpected and trade, and when the expected happens, just hold tight because I'm looking at this. It's actually kind of a small move relative to other FOMCs as of late. We moved. Let's see. We opened at like I'm just like pull up a couple stats here. Just above 7,000 in ES and just above 26,170. And we're not far off. We're kind of right back to where we started in ES and a little bit lower in NQs. So in all scheme of things, nothing's really happened. if I had a gun to my head, I would say I'd be waiting for a short opportunity. But at the same time, as I've said before, there's a good chance the market just retraces right back to the open. It's so ironic that, we'll be flying around from 2 o'clock Eastern to 2:30 Eastern, and you literally will end up in the same spot. Um, happens all the time. But I'm just kind of looking around here, guys. I know we have silver. I got silver twice. I don't think we need to do that. Let me pull up gold. GC. Oh, that's not gold. GC. Try one more time for you guys. And you're looking at gold and silver, similar, very similar looking charts to ES, and silver being probably the strongest of the three. ES now moving above the print line, but nothing drastic. Again, yeah, you're down 100, I'm down $37. That's just kind of like a cut. That's really nothing on a day like today. I think your goal, I know for me, my goal is 1,200 for the day. I want to not spend an unlimited amount of time. I really want to focus on funded accounts. And to that degree, I have not taken a single trade in any of my funded accounts or my live brokerage account. There's nothing that's telling me like this is the obvious direction, right?
Yeah. I'm not anxious to do anything in ES. We kind of hover around that 7,000 number like we have been for a while, and kind of waiting for a breakout here. It seems to want to go higher and then struggle and go back and not shoot too much lower. So the best trade right now might be no trade.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this is a good opportunity for traders to understand that trading isn't about being in a trade. Trading is about being selective with your trades, being strategic with your entries, being strategic with your exits, and not forcing trades. Really, anyone could be a trader if we had no emotions, right? It's the fact that money's involved. It's the fact that our egos, our emotions, our psyche, so much becomes a part of the trade that it affects your trade. And you're always constantly taking in more information, which influences whether you want to be in the trade, whether you want to take profits or cut your losses short. All of these things are going in, and one of the best feelings in the world is knowing that you're trading, right? We're both trading right now, but neither of us are in a trade. Neither of us have forced a position. I mean, because right now, I don't care if you're long or short, you're not winning, right? You're actually just, the one thing you're doing is putting yourself at risk, because right now we have a Powell coming on the mic in about 20 minutes, but there could be a flush higher or a flush lower, and we don't need to get involved with that. We want to capture some of the move, but we don't need to force it by being in a trade the whole time. We're still trading, we're still watching, but the best traders are the ones that know when to get in the market and know when not to get in the market.
Don't trade the chop.
Yeah, I'm not a range trader at all. I do have to admit, as much as I've been trading, sometimes a series of red candles gets me itching to go short, or a series of green candles gets me itching to go long. But the best thing to do is work on what your setup is. And so if you're looking at the screen right now, I've got the same bot running on NASDAQ, ES, silver, and gold. And I'm not necessarily saying this bot's profitable or any of the bots are profitable. But what it shows you guys is what setups look like. How the bot helps me is it creates clear points of entry, clear points of profit taking, and clear stop losses. One of the most dangerous things you can do is trade without a stop loss. and start smoking hopium, right? If you're starting to
Mm-hmm.
hope is a dangerous game because let's not fool ourselves, guys. If you're trading props, you are doing the absolute hardest form of trading, hands down, for two reasons. One, your time frame is limited to day of. Okay, you can't hold a position. And two, you're trading the most liquid assets in the world. Indexes like ES, NQ, silver, gold, these are the most liquid products you can trade. That's how props can survive when they get to the real brokerage account, is they can hedge against it. And there's a market for hedging, right? A lot of traders trade similarly. So if you were running a real prop firm, one of the things you have to do is consider being delta neutral, meaning if every one of my traders is long, I better have some short on the side just in case they're all wrong. And you can't do that if you were trading illiquid things, right? If you were trading small caps, for example, it's very hard to hedge that properly. And so if you're going to trade prop firms, you have to understand, if you master this, every other form of trading is a cakewalk because you have to be right on time and price. And if you're
Yep.
wrong on time, I don't care how right you are on price. If you're wrong on time, you have to get out, take the loss, even if you're right on price. Even if that buy in 2 hours is an awesome buy, you can't risk it because this is the big leagues. And with these props, how they continue to be successful is a lot of traders don't understand that one ES mini or one NQ mini is several $100,000 worth of leverage, right? 1 point move in an E-mini is worth $50. So your entry is actually leveraged 50x. And then you're trying to manage that with just $2,000 of drawdown. You can't deny that you have to be right on time and price. And so if you're wrong on time or you're wrong on price, you got to get out and you got to be disciplined and take your losses because this is not a game where you can hold. Um, and that's
Yep.
really the key. And so you have to understand, you master this, guys, swing trading, um, a lot of other forms of trading become a lot easier. Now, we can get into day trading options, and there's a lot of things that actually become more difficult, like managing the volatility changes. But when we're talking about trading futures, we're trading very liquid assets, but you can't hold it for the day. Right? Like, we're going to go long. Okay, I can, in a brokerage account, you can hold that position overnight. You can hold it till tomorrow. You can't do that with brokerage, with prop firms. So really understand that it is difficult. It's difficult for a reason, but the reward can be very grateful because of the leverage aspect, right? If you could get to one payout, getting 5 accounts to another payout's more easy, right? Warren Buffett has always said his first million was the hardest to make. Um, and I would agree with that. I mean, I think the idea is it's that first hurdle and then things snowball. So we are getting some selling a little bit. Again, guys, this isn't really volatile. So we're at FOMC here to trade some moves. Okay, we're going to see some moves. We just have to be patient. And more importantly, like Mike was saying, we got to be in the game and be able to take a trade, right? If you're in a trade right now and get chewed up before the real fun begins, then you're up a creek without a paddle. So,
Yep. And just to what you were saying as a noob, the hardest thing to do is let your stop losses hit. Again, like you can be right, the market has to go up, right? But if the
yeah.
timing's off, then you don't have the margin of error trading in these props, especially to let your trades wait out sometimes. Let it hit the stop and look for your entry. Don't jump in right away. That's over trading, and that'll get you in trouble too. So let the market do what it's going to do, and wait till you see a resistance level, whatever the case may be. But don't be afraid to admit that you're either wrong on time or movement or price, or get out, wait for a better trade.
Yeah, I think that really proves a great point, Mike. I think what a lot of people do, if we're all looking at my screen, let's say they were kind of trying to buy the dip, and right in this area they bought a long, okay, on this big downward candle. What a lot of traders will do is they got one contract there, and then they'll add a second here, okay? Right? They'll add a second one down lower. And this is something you could maybe get away with in a brokerage account. You cannot get away with this type of trading where you're adding size, where you're trying to lower your basis on a down move and thinking like, "Hey, I'm going to be okay." An astute trader will understand, as I've said before. Okay, my lines are terrible, but let's say you got long here and you added here. Okay, this is a really important thing to kind of grasp. What you really should be understanding is if you got long here, you should be stopping yourself out here. Okay, stopping yourself out here and then looking for a new trade lower, right? Because you got to be right
Yes.
on time and price. Don't just add size on the way down. Take your loss, and if you still have conviction, the long's coming, take your second long with a new entry and a new stop loss. And now you've not only probably saved some drawdown, you're also not trading multiple contracts oversized and going to blow up the account just because of the move. So, again, that's really important. You averaging down on a loser is a recipe for failure, and so in these trades, you got to have like an idea. If you don't have like a defined stop loss, have like a monetary value. Like, I don't want to lose more than $500 a trade because I know what kind of hole it's going to cost me to dig out of. And so if you want to risk up to $1,000 a day, take your loss and look for a re-entry. And what it will do is all of a sudden you'll take your loss, all the nerves will be gone, but you'll be able to kind of realize like, hey, I might be able to, you could potentially, let's just looking at this example a little bit more, for the traders, okay, some people would say, okay, I got long here and I got stopped out here. Well, you could still potentially take the long again at your same entry later in time when time is a better point. So that's really important for you guys to understand. Just because you got long here and you got stopped out doesn't necessarily invalidate your trade or invalidate your thesis, but it allows you time to either get a better entry lower or wait a second and try the entry again without incurring all of this drawdown before it moves back up and, potentially blowing up the account.
Yeah, and that's a good way to blow up an account is to try to dollar cost average. Dollar cost average is that's a term more for buying individual stocks of a company, that sort of thing. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's any place for it in prop trading or trading
Oh,
futures in general. You should be adding only to winners. You should not be adding to losers.
yes, I want to bring 2 points to that. One, when I trade one NQ or ES, it is $45,000 of margin taken up. And what I like about it is, let's say I have a $50,000 account. How many contracts will it let me put on? One. You have $2,000 in drawdown. You should never trade more than one. If you need more, if you want to be able to tinker, trade 10 micros, because what people don't understand is not only is dollar cost averaging a recipe for absolute failure, can you add to a winner? Sure. If you got a heater and where you can maintain the same amount of risk profile and add, that is fine. But I think what's helped me is understanding like if I'm in a 50K account, I should never be more than one contract at a time. It is literally a recipe for disaster. The second thing, which is correct, that dollar cost averaging is more of a thing of, okay, I love Apple at 250, Apple's at 220. Okay, I could buy some more. Long-term dollar cost averaging works. But here's the truth behind dollar cost averaging. I went and got my Series 65. In the 80s, people were jumping in and out of stocks. Now, you may or may not know this, but when somebody is managing your assets, they usually charge a percentage of how much you have in there, how much is allocated. And they usually won't mess with your cash. Let's say you got like some money on the side, they're not going to take a percentage of that. So what was happening in the 80s was people were just getting out of the market. Well, the investment firms don't like that. They don't like guys that aren't vested. So they actually kind of started to push this dollar cost averaging, because what is the one key thing about dollar cost averaging? It's you don't get out of the market. You just keep averaging in. So you're never out. And that was the reason dollar cost averaging became this thing that so many people are aware of, is because all the people that were making money off of your investment, they didn't want you to take it out. They wanted you to dollar cost, lower your basis, blah, 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 blah. That is fine long term. I'm a long-term holder of, and again, not financial advice, guys. I'm a long-term holder of Meta. Meta ripped down to 600 last week. I added more. There is nothing wrong with that, because my horizon is 20 years out, right? I have time, and you don't have time day trading prop account. You cannot dollar cost average. And if you do, yes, you can get lucky once in a while. If anything, and this would be the one caveat where I would say, okay, fine. You see on this line how the price went right down here. Let's say the second green line was my stop, okay? And you're coming down here and you've got enough drawdown. If you take a extra long and you're risking $50 to $100 more, but you didn't move your stop, and that next contract, the stop's not moved, I'm okay with that. It's kind of like a hero grab, right? You're like, okay, I can risk another $100 of loss here. I'm going to keep my stop. I'm okay with seeing that sometimes, because sometimes it works, and then sometimes those trades are some of the best trades you'll have. But 99 times out of 100, adding to a loser, especially when you have $2,000 in drawdown, guys, these contracts are $300,000-$400,000. When you're only trying to make a few $100s off of a single E-mini, that is so minuscule. People were doing that 50 years ago, no problem, in the 80s, right? So it's disgusting to think that the 80s are 40, 50 years ago, but it is what it is. But here we are. Okay, now we got 5 minutes left, guys, and I don't know about you, but if I drew a line from the open, let's just do it. Just, we're kind of doing it. Let's just do it. Here's the line in ES, and now we'll grab NQ. Again, because sometimes saying something doesn't necessarily mean anything. But if we look at those two blue lines, those are where the print started from the FOMC. Are we not exactly where we started?
Yeah, we sure are. And so with that being said, we've got about 4 minutes here until Paul jumps on the mic. What do you expect? What do you not that we'll take your advice as gospel.
Sure.
But what do you kind of envision seeing here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wholeheartedly expect a ton of volatility up and down. Realistically, there is a higher likelihood, in my opinion, of him saying, Powell is very, and this is 100% my opinion, Powell is probably the best Fed chair speaker we have ever had. Yep. Other Fed chairs usually would let something slip, and it would create a dovish or hawkish tone. And that would, the algos, everyone would grab that and be like, aha, I got him. Powell doesn't really get tripped up, with the questions that, he doesn't have, the speech is predetermined, but the question and responses are not predetermined. So Powell is always very good at not tipping his hat. However, in this position with where the economy is, I would say there's a higher likelihood that we flush lower for a bit for two reasons. One, we've come a long way. Like, we're at damn near record highs. And I think Powell will be very strategic to not say anything dovish that will let the market fly. I think Powell will make comments about tariffs and make comments about the unknown position of the White House and all of the money that they're managing at the Treasury, and the fact that we don't know if price and inflation is going to continue to poke its ugly head. So
Yep.
if I was to say what is likely, I would expect at some point something hawkish will come out and we will see a good liquidation break. I don't know if it'll hold. You got to give the whole speech and really let the market go into the close. But I expect to capture at least one solid short during his speech, because there's just, the fact that the FBI is being told to investigate this guy. I mean, he looks like, the kind of guy like I'd let my, go over to have my kids come over and have them read a book like Mr. Rogers, right? He doesn't come off like a guy that I need to worry about, right? He seems very upstanding. He seems very principled. And in that, I think this is going to be an opportunity for him to potentially poke fingers or make some sort of comment that he's doing everything he can, but there's a lot of uncertainty. The word uncertainty is immediately dovetailed with the VIX. The VIX is a measurement of all the calls and puts on the SPY. And a high VIX means a lot of uncertainty. I would expect at some point during the speech, there is going to be a flush, and it'll be a 100-point flush in NQ. So that's what I'm gleaming. Whether it gets immediately bought back up, it depends on what's actually said. But Powell's, again, the market's going to move a little bit here, guys, right when the speech starts. But it's the questions that really get the mark. See, here's our dump.
Yep.
And I think
are you trading this dump right now?
I am not. I didn't even have my chart pulled up. I'm going to watch here. If we get to a new low, I could take a little piece, but has he walked out? Okay, so the feed is live. And see, this is what I'm saying about retracements. I think this could just get retraced before he even gets to the mic. I got $100 that he says good afternoon. So
I hope you win that one.
Yeah, he says good afternoon every time. Here he goes. Good afternoon. There it is. Good afternoon.
All right. Little retracement back to where we opened here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going short yet here?
No, I'm flat. I want to turn that down a little bit, but I am this move. See how that was completely retraced? That was kind of like a very fluky move. There was nothing that was said that created that move, so it didn't give me any reason to get short or get long. If we get towards high a day, we look how we just swept the low of the day. Let me try to zoom this out so you guys can see. We swept not the low of the day, but the low of the FOMC statement. Now we swept the highs in ES. We're at the open in NQ. Again, guys, these are small moves. 30, 40-point moves is nothing compared to what we're expecting to see. But I've got one thing I have predetermined. I'm trying to take about $400 in profit a trade. And I want to have that take profit in there right away because these moves are going to be quick. And I have a $400 stop loss already. So I have an at-the-money strategy to get long or short. But we're just kind of flying around here with no real direction. I'm looking towards a long here. No, long's invalidated. The other thing you guys got to know is the algos that are running this are about 10 seconds ahead of the feed, whatever feed you're watching. So you'll see price move before you hear what Powell said that made the price move. And again, the statement's already been released, so the algos have already scraped the statement. Um, it's after the statement when the questions start where the algos are going to be parsing the information. Ooh, good inflation comment. I'm getting the itch to trade, aren't you?
Oh yeah, no, I just hit a short just now, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so you're in a short.
I'm in a short. We're at like pretty much the open of the day, and it looks like
Oh,
we've had a tough time going above it. So we need some really good news, or else I expect it to flush back lower to kind of where we were at around that 7,000 mark.
yeah.
And it's working so far. I'm of course nervous because it's moving around so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tricky period to trade. Not common. Um, Gold and silver are holding up a little bit better than ES and Q. Excuse me. Um, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Have you moved a stop or you got your same take profit?
I I have a take profit at 7, but I think I'm just gonna get out of this. I'm super nervous.
Okay.
All right, I got out.
Okay. Winning trade though, right?
Winning trade, yeah,
Yeah, there you
yep.
go. Confidence builder.
Now I'm gonna wait and yeah, it looks like it wants to go lower, but it could retrace and I would have hit my take profit if I was patient there, but I got nervous.
That's all right. Some, you know, you don't need perfect trades every
Typical
time, but
noob.
yeah, typical dude. Let your trades work, damn it. I still take in no trades in my brokerage account. Nothing here has given me any real shake, and I think that's really important. Is in an eval, I'm a little bit more ready to take some risk on because I know at the end of the day, my total risk is the $95.40 we paid for these evals. Um, so you can be a little bit more risky, but nothing here is. I mean, we're just chopping up and down, very rangy.
Very rangy, and
Okay,
you're
we've
not a
got
range
questions now.
trader.
Sorry.
Kind of gambly.
God, Paul is smart. This guy is a smooth talker. First shot fired, um, and just he. I do not comment on comments from other officials. So really smart.
Yeah, we are really in a tight range right now.
Just get ready. I think it's charging up. Right.
I'm ready.
All right. Get those trigger fingers ready here. He's
I've got on I've got on market buys and market sells. I've got the cursor over them because, this thing starts ripping. I don't want to be left behind.
yeah.
But it's like right on top of the VWAP. Like everything is like it's just so tight right now. It doesn't know what it
Yeah.
wants to do.
There we go. I just had this nice little trading gold in my real account. $100. 1 point.
All right, look,
Just
it's looking like we want to go lower here in ES. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing lower in ES, and the other thing is a little bit higher in NQ right now. But we have to take into account is ES went and hit a high of this period, and NQ didn't. So even though NQ right now is showing some strength, it still didn't get over that initial high, right? You saw a swoop above it and leave that big shadow in ES, and now you're kind of sitting. And really, at the end of the day, I'm not seeing nothing's really, you know. This is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a little shocked we haven't seen some more movement here, but I'm ready to go. Gold is going higher. Should have stayed in my gold trade.
I'm a
Watching
little
gold, I just
surprised
want
we're
to be
not
careful.
seeing a move here either.
Yeah,
We're not seeing anything. I mean, this range is tighter than like a normal trading day at this time.
right.
Just
No, I
about.
agree. Um, which could happen. I mean, sometimes you get like CPI prints that don't move the market. Almost you chalk that up to people are positioned where they want to be positioned, right? You come into the FOMC expecting change, and that's what gets the volatility. That's what gets the movement. So um, give it some time here, guys. Um, it also matters who's asking the questions, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a lot of political influence in the questions that come across him. So right now it's Bloomberg TV. Okay, Bloomberg TV is originally kind of based in a London company. Obviously is it Michael Bloomberg? Um,
Yeah.
but they tend to be polite to their financial guys, right? They like having the inside scoop, so they don't really want to shake the boat. It's when we get some of these more left or more right questions that fire across the bow that can kind of shake it up.
So it looks like ES wants to go lower here. I might try another short soon because it's having a tough time getting higher. It's kind of
Yeah,
looking like we're going to get a flush soon.
yeah.
What are you thinking?
You know, I don't have a problem with your position. If you've got a good stop, I could see us sweeping a little lower. And as I said, we should get some sort of flush lower. Um, the trade doesn't necessarily knock my stocks off, but we are moving lower here. Um, so maybe you want to look for some sort of bounce up and then take your short now. But you could obviously see us swing to the low of the day here, and it would be a working trade from the moment you wanted to enter. Um, I'm just kind of watching gold and silver, honestly. If you're kind of watching the charts, silver's pretty strong here. Um, Gold's kind of holding up. You got some movement here, so your short would have been working.
I'm short. I just entered.
Okay.
Um, I've got my stop loss at a take profit of $50.
Okay.
So we'll see
Again,
if
if
it
you
hits my.
stopped out, you can always look to re-enter again.
I just hit my stop, so that was a $50 trade.
Okay.
I'm slightly up on the day, and then waiting for another better entry. Because we did plunge lower there, but then we recovered quickly. So I'm not upset I set the stop where I did, even if it does go back down to where I could take profit.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is sometimes some of the best evals are just like going into like closing day one profitable, right? There's nothing worse than like starting an eval in a deep hole. It kind of just is a discouraging feeling. I know you've been able to dig yourself out of eval holes, but there's something to kind of take note in that sometimes small winning days are better than you know, a red day. Just kind of get the momentum going and get the confidence going.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've had some really bad first days of evals and I passed them, but it takes you a longer week to pass them, and that's a
Yeah.
week that you could have been profitable in a funded account if you didn't overtrade and have a bad first day.
God, Steve Leisman, CNBC, great line. Said he's sticking with questions that you're going to actually answer instead of everyone trying to get him to say something.
Okay, a little bit of a recovery and then a bit of a struggle. And
Yeah.
ES looks like it might want to go lower. I don't know.
Gold is starting to rip here. I might take another gold long. Come
Take a gold long.
on. I've been trading really well, but gold is a big animal. I mean,
big scary animal with scary swings.
Like let's say 1 point in ES is $50. 1 point in gold is 100. So, and it moves like NQ. So, I mean, it is more wild and volatile right now than NQ. So, you know, NQ is 20 to 1 leverage. This is 100 to 1 leverage moving like NQ. So, almost 5 times more dangerous. So, you got to really make sure you're picking your spots, because if you're not good at taking losses in gold, you're going to get chewed up immediately. You know, 5 point move, that's $500. So there's the move in gold, though. Should have probably taken it. But I'm okay.
You're okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, another nice 1 point move in gold. Okay, I got to focus on the even.
Yeah, it seems to be on an uptrend. I'm watching the chart.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, I was just trying to capture, if you guys look at this bot, the long was here, going up to this next green is kind of what I was trying to capture. You know, my stop was a lot tighter because I can't really stomach some of these moves in gold. You know, but I do, you know, my bots work pretty well, so I think we should hit 904 here soon. And just so you guys know, and when we're looking at TradingView, if you're seeing a different number, the contract for volume has rolled over to the April contract for gold and silver, but TradingView probably won't do that until Friday. So the price is a little different. Still very, very little movement here in NQ and ES. Nothing to write home about.
No, lots of indecision with the market about what it wants to do here. Every time it looks like it's going to dump, it kind of recovers a bit, and every time it starts heading up, it dumps a bit. So,
yeah,
not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, certainly not like last FOMC where we were seeing absolute whipsaws, but it doesn't mean that it isn't coming here.
Something just happened. We had a bit of a whipsaw there.
Here, first tariff question. Fox Business.
And I've got about 5 minutes. I'll probably stop here at 11:50, and wherever I'm at's where I'm at.
Okay.
11:50 Pacific time, to be clear.
I'm long right now, and I don't like it. I'm down about 100.
Does that mean I should go short?
All right, I got to sell here for about 15 points. I'm in the green again, but I don't like it. I should probably be looking for smaller. Oh, nice move. I'm going to put a stop in. Ugh, going to get stopped out. Come on. Rip it. All right, stopped out. I am $45 in the green on the day. Still no big moves. This is very slow.
Like watching paint dry. We are getting about to the top of the range today. I might take
Yeah.
one more stab at it, maybe a short, and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Kind of a last trade of the day.
Yeah, what would you be looking to risk and what are you looking to make on this kind of a trade where you're just kind of going with your intuition?
Just a 6 point move as we hover around that 7,005 mark. I mean, it's just been around that 7,000 mark. So might go short here at 7,006 and hope we just regress back down to the mean where we've kind of been all day.
Oh, there goes my gold. Damn it.
Oh my gosh, gold just jumped.
Yep, big jump too. And
We're right at the open for the day here in ES, and it's had a tough time going above that previously. So I just
yeah.
wonder if this is a good time to short here. Obviously, if we break above that, then you look for longs.
Yeah, I mean, your thesis. Okay, if we look at it, my bot just went long in ES, but if you look at it
Uh-oh.
that way, I think what you can argue is right or wrong. It's a good quote setup, right? You've got a clearly defined stop loss, and you're kind of targeting a move back towards the open of this print. So, I don't mind that trade. I don't think that's a bad one. I'm kicking myself. I was in gold at 33 and now we're at 50, so that would have been a $2,000 move, but
That was a big move in gold.
there's still a lot of room to the upside, a lot of room to the downside, guys. From the open, we're below the open in ES and NQ. And what Mike was mentioning is we were the high, kind of right where he wanted to short was right at the contract open overnight. And that short would have been working pretty well right now. Not sure if it'd be a profitable trade, but it would have been definitely in profit right now.
Yep. I'm letting it work.
Okay, so you are short. Okay, what's your
I
short
am
at?
short. Yep. Short at 7,007. I went short. So,
Okay, it's a good
and I've
short.
got to take profit around 7,000, and I'm gonna let it play out. I'll take a loss if I need to.
Yeah, I like that. And I think this is a good example. I know we call you the noob, but do you just see how Mike's tone is confident? He's confident in a loss or confident in a win. He's almost accepted the loss already. That's really important. Is like if you go into every trade accepting a loser, you're gonna be just fine, right? You have low expectations. You're already managing your emotions of a loss, and you're like, you know what? If this is a loser, this is a loser. But I'm defining my setup, and he's in profit now, and he's just looking to kind of get a little bit more downside here. He said wanted to look kind of back towards the 7,000 round number. I think that's a nice number, and with metals moving up, you should see a negative correlation. So I think that's a good trade. We'll just continue to see what's going on. I mean, people continue to pile into metals like they're not going to be dug out of the ground anymore. But at the end of the day, you can't deny that there is a absolute destruction of the dollar. I just wanted to pull up the dollar. See how the dollar is up today, so we are getting a little bit of a bounce in the dollar.
All right, and I did get stopped out for break even there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back to open of the day here, and if it fails to get above it again, I might take another low.
Yeah, I
Might take
mean, I
another
think
short.
clearly that was a really good move to move your stop to break even. Essentially, you put on a free trade, and it didn't work out. But no harm, no foul. You saw that. Um, I think this is a good point that Mike brings up. Is notice how he didn't say I got stopped out and I need to reverse my position. A lot of people, you're like, I'm short. Okay, the short didn't work. Now it's long. Okay, the long didn't work. Now I'm short. He's maintaining his bias. He's maintaining his position. He had a trade. It was working. He took it off for break even, and he's looking for a new opportunity. He's not sitting in it now, in the red. He's just saying, okay, maybe I want to try that same spot at 7,006 or 7,007 again, and if I get some more signs of bearish inflow. At the end of the day, right now, this is easily the slowest movement I've seen from the Fed chair, and honestly, no qualms. Some of that could do with major tech earnings, right? Tomorrow's Apple, that used to be the largest company in the entire world. Now that is owned by Nvidia. Do you know Nvidia is 3% of the global stock market? Isn't that crazy? That's pretty crazy.
That is
One company is
crazy.
3%. And so they're not reporting this week, but at the end of the day, there could be some indecision because we're all waiting for some really big company earnings that could drive the market in one direction. And Powell, as we've said before, the talk is very well spoken, doesn't get tripped up, doesn't let reporters trip him up, piss him off. You know, it can't be said for our president. Our president is very good at taking any comments and running with them, whatever direction he wants to, which is, I'm not trying to say that's good or bad. I'm just stating it as a fact that, if
Just
you
the
say
fact
something,
of the matter.
yeah, I mean, let me tell you, he gave his speech in Iowa, was it yesterday? And I had a little money on him saying farmers. He knows how to hit his keywords, and he will also run off the cuff if need be. I mean, there's been some speeches or comments he's given on Air Force One that were a little shocking to me, that he would say that, but he's never been afraid to not say it, I suppose, if you can grab him by the pussy or whatever he used to say. So
Well, we tried to go higher. We even went above the open of the day, and then it looks like it's going to flush lower. So I'm going to go short again here.
okay,
I'm going to go short. Entry 7007, 7007. Take profit at 7,000. We'll move up to a break even again, so I don't take a big loss if I'm wrong. But it looks like we want to flush down to the levels at the start
yeah,
of FOMC again.
yeah. I like this short. I'm not going to take it. I'm actually watching gold a little bit closer. Um, I've got them up $45. Oh, big pop in gold, and that was what I was waiting for. But a move higher in gold is a move lower in indexes traditionally.
Well, move lower index. There we go. Flush it, baby.
Come on, go get that target. Go get that target.
Give me the target. Come on. I need this one.
Now, general question. What percentage of your profits are donated to Australian PBS and the show Bluey?
A good amount. Bluey's babysitting right now. That's why after this trade, I probably got to call it. But yeah, good amount. Bluey's going to be at Disneyland in March, and of course we're going. So
Oh, nice.
there you go. Yep.
Good trade here. Have you moved your stop, or are you going to just try to hit target? What's your target? 7,000?
Target 7,000. Yeah, I could really use it. We're getting there. Come on. When
Nice
I don't
trade.
hit target and it reverses, that's like the hardest thing ever. So hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider this candle here, the high of this candle that we're on right now is 7,475. I would hate to see that candle reverse just because we hit right to the open, and it would be a logical point for some bounce. Um, I guess if you said you're in at 7, so you still have another candle. Now, what we want to see is this candle. This would be a very telling candle. And I recommend, let me just pull it out. This book, and I haven't actually read it. I owned it for maybe 10 years, and now I'm finally reading it. Steven Nielsen is this Japanese candlesticks. I mean, this is like the holy grail of candlesticks. It's amazing how much like people denounce what candles say and do. But you see there how I told you that I didn't, I expected a bounce right around that level of the, opening of this. And what I have kind of gleaned from this is just like acknowledging that sometimes these candles are indicators and indications, right? When you see that was like a solid red candle and it closed a doji, it closed with basically no body. That can kind of tell you a change in tone. But what's interesting here again is we went right up to this first candle, kind of your entry. And now we need to see a close above to say that your trade's pretty much invalidated. But that's one of those things where I had kind of said when I was telling you to maybe have your stop right at the top of that candle as it was coming down, because if it changed, that could potentially change the tone. Now, if you're still in the trade, this is looking promising again because we haven't had any bodies close above the 700 level. So again, that initial bounce, what you can say this bounce is this just people buying that level, right? Everyone kind of notes this is the level of the print. And now you can see you're almost at target. You're a point or two away. And you should hit target now. I'd be very surprised you're less than a point away if this doesn't go there. Just touched it. There you go. You should have hit target. Profit?
So I did move my stop up and I didn't let my trade play out all the way like I should have. Typical amateur move. Yeah, but I did take some profit there, so it wasn't all lost. But
Okay. So this is a good example of like, this book, it looks intimidating, it's big, but it's mainly just like smaller text with some pictures on the side. I've been really impressed. Quick read. I think I'll read it in maybe like probably six hours. I'll get through it. I think I'm spending about an hour a day. But I've really kind of enjoyed it. It's especially for how long I've been trading. It's nice to get like kind of reacquainted with some thoughts of what's going on. And as you said, what I liked about your trade, Mike, was you had a target.
I think I'm gonna call it a day. With that being said, my last trade of the day didn't quite work out how I wanted to,